Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes, I know. I got the StreamYard thing and the mutant and the thing, and I do apologize for that. But hello there, Skylighters. Welcome on in. Get on in here. The show is starting now. Very, very interesting with the scheduling here. I know we're going alongside Marvin. I tried not to. But that there were some scheduling conflicts there that pushed him up. So hopefully, we don't split the audience too badly. But if we do, don't worry, the restream of this will be up for your later enjoyment right here. Very, very cool. Today, I've had to move the show I think 3 or 4 times today. It's so crazy how just the news just keeps going out. We just heard the big announcement of D23 Expo. Or, wait a minute, the D23 Ultimate Fan Event is what they call that now. Oh, boy. Man, can you remember the good old days? Anyway, the D23 Ultimate Fan Event, its events and its tickets were just announced. Very, very interesting. Along with that, the Legends ceremony and who was going to be inducted into the Legends category awards was also announced. And there was a very surprising name on that list because, well, as you know, they just recently retired from the Walt Disney Company. And it's like, wow, a little fast there to be getting a Legends Award. We're going to be talking about that near about the end of the show right there. But first, we got to get into some crazy epic news with these surveys, with these expansion permits and so forth. We also have, unfortunately, some freeze damage over there at Walt Disney World. Not good at all. And also, too, the Disney Adventure putting out a notice to all of its cruise liners. Or wait, not cruise liners. It would be passengers, right? Of its cruise ship. Talking about theft. Very, very interesting stuff on the horizon. That is for sure. But we have to go ahead and bring on a very, very special friend and somebody who has been instrumental in getting us established here on YouTube with our channel. It is the one, the only, you know him, you love him, the rocker, Tom F. Are you there, Tom?
I'm here. I don't know. Am I?
I believe so. Let me just make sure here. Yes, all go. Right there. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom. Very appreciative that you could actually make it on because I know that you've been to Epic. Unfortunately, I have not, but I had to bring on somebody who has been to Epic, who has been through the rigmarole attached to Epic Universe, and why this story is so very, very interesting. Because a lot of people have been waiting for Epic passes, Epic annual passes to be launched. And a lot of people have been questioning on how they were going to do that, right? Whether or not it was going to be as a separate package or a separate AP altogether, or maybe a combined package when it is when they finally make their way out to the public. And we might have just gotten our first indication of what they might be thinking about when it comes to these Epic passes via these surveys that they've been putting out. And I know a number of people who have gotten these surveys and have all been reporting the same thing. Now we have Block Mickey here, who is going into depth about what might be in store for potential annual pass holders looking to visit Epic Universe all year round. Let's go ahead and bring it up right now from Block Mickey. Breaking! Epic Universe survey suggests 2 or 4-year locked-in annual passes, required park reservations, and more. This Mike over here, like I said, Blog Mickey, and very recently, I know, I'm in reader mode right now. Blog Mickey, a lot of these sites are giving me a little bit of problem.
I remember the reservations part, but I will tell you, nothing about 2 or 4 years locked in. Nothing like that.
Yes. We have been seeing surveys indicating multiple years. Actually, I remember at Universal Studios Hollywood over there on the West Coast, they were asking about maybe a 3-year pass and what that would, entail, and maybe perhaps annual pass holders might opt for something like that, especially as that park is going under a whole rejuvenation process. Very, very interesting stuff. But we're talking about Epic. According to BlogMickey.com sources, Universal Orlando has begun sending out surveys to annual pass holders as they look to offer an annual pass for Epic Universe. The survey presented a wide variety of options, including discounted tickets, multi-year annual pass options, and more. Here's what we've learned. And it says, since they published this article originally, there have been updates with additional information. I'll start with a caveat. This is a survey. Nothing discussed here has been officially announced by Universal Orlando Resort, and that is a good distinction right there. There's no guarantee that any of these options will be implemented. In fact, with so many different options, there's a guarantee that most of these options will not be. But here's what we know so far. Multi-year locked-in annual passes. Universal presented multiple annual pass type options, but some of the most interesting offerings were multi-year locked-in annual passes. Universal asked guests about a 2-year locked-in annual pass, a 3-year locked-in annual pass, and a 4-year locked-in AP. This would be a massive departure from the current industry standard of an annual pass being only for a single year. Universal says that multi-year locked-in AP options would come with a lower per-year price. That said, it would require a multi-year commitment of 2 or maybe even 4 years. We haven't heard of other timeframes for multi-year locked-in APs, but it's possible that Universal could be surveying guests about 3-year or even 5-year APs. Whoa! Universal guests asked what they would be willing to pay for these multi-year passes. While the multi-year AP would be discounted versus a year-to-year renewal, Universal did consider adding further restrictions to visitation. One such restriction would be required park reservations. Before we get into that, though, Tom, your thoughts on buying in for multiple years, not just one?
Okay. Being that my pass just rolled over and 2 years, okay. That if it was going to be a discount, I could see people doing 2 years. Let's say you got 3 parks to go to. They're expanding on Epic. So that could be doable. I mean, I've been to Epic 5 times, I think. I know, horror. And I still don't think I got everything done in it.
Wow,
So
really?
some of the questions they were saying were like, hey, if you had 10 days to go in this like 3-month period, and they didn't have a cost with it. They just said it would be included in your annual pass. They didn't say if it was going to cost more or not. Then I do remember about an option of getting a pass, just an unrestricted pass, but it'd be double the money than what it would normally be. So I'm wondering if they're staging the questions differently to different clientele to get different surveys for different people to see what it's like.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? Because not everybody's going to be able to afford a multi-year pass. That's a lot of money to put down. But the temptation to at least offer something at a value, I think, is there for Universal for multiple reasons, right? They want
the reservation system to me. I won't buy it.
Well,
that's why I left Disney.
We will get into that in just a moment, Tom. Hold your thoughts right there, because that right there is really the crux of what we want to be talking about. But you got to think. With Disney in this state of becoming, that being the multiple construction projects spread out around 3 of their parks, that being Disney Studios, obviously, with Monsters, Inc., Magic Kingdom with Cars Land, Vince's Land, and Disney's Animal Kingdom with their Tropical Americas, I think a lot of people might reduce the amount of visitation at Walt Disney World anyway. So in order to capitalize on that, it's like, hey, these things are going to be going on for a while. Why not buy in at a reduced price point for the time being for Universal? And you can take advantage of our parks, which are basically construction free for the most part. We'll get into potential construction projects, and obviously there's Fast and Furious and so forth. But when looking across the I-4, there is a difference there, and they might be wanting to get in on that. I thought that was really interesting. I heard the same thing for Universal Studios Hollywood, as I mentioned before, but it makes sense there because there was so much construction going on at Universal Studios Hollywood. It makes sense to want to lock in people. This seems to be of a similar mindset, but for a different reason. Very, very interesting stuff for sure. All right, now we can get into required theme park reservations. Oh no, back to Blog Mickey. With multi-year APs, guests would be required to make a theme park reservation. This sounds like it would be similar to how Walt Disney World requires annual pass holders to make a reservation to visit. While the Walt Disney World theme park reservation system is largely pointless, A reservation system for Epic Universe makes a lot of sense, given the long wait times and ride reliability issues that park is facing. At one point in the survey, we're told that Universal noted that demand is still high, that they would need to take steps to manage capacity and crowds while still funding a way to offer an annual pass holder option. In our opinion, theme park reservations are a massive wildcard. If Epic Universe has the availability of Disneyland park reservations, historically, an annual pass would be unusable. Very true. If, however, Epic Universe reservation availability is closer to Walt Disney World, it would be an acceptable trade-off. But we imagine that it will be the former, given the struggles that theme park is facing. Somebody just chimed in right here, joining us for maybe a limited time. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in now before I go to you, Tom, for your answer to this. Let's go ahead and bring on Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun. Hello there, sir.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I literally just finished my workout. That is why you do not want me on camera right now.
Oh, I see. That is no issue there, Ron. We were just going over these surveys and specifically the point about reservations. I know your audio might be just a little bit wonky. Please, everybody, give him a little bit of leeway right here. He is coming in on, as much as he can, and I really want to get his thoughts on this specific point right here. Reservations coming with a potential Epic Universe pass. What say you, Ron?
Yeah, Tom and I were talking about this because we both got the same. Well, we both got surveys. We're not 100% sure if, of course, the surveys are identical, because the options that I was shown in the survey were for this first very weird option where if you have an annual pass to Epic Universe or to Universal Orlando, then they could extend an option to you with a 3-month window to buy discounted tickets. And I couldn't even quite wrap my head around that exactly because it was so, fortunately there was like a comments section where you could drop comments. And I'm like, I hate this idea. Like, literally hate it. This is horrible.
Right.
It's bad. Don't do it. This is dumb. Just if you're going to add it to the pass, add it to the pass. Then there was a 2-year option and a 1-year option, and then some of those came with the caveat of having to make reservations if you were going to use that pass at Epic Universe, and of course there would also be blockout dates and such. And then one of the things said that it was like they actually asked for a suggested price point above what they're offering now. Like they said, this is the price of this pass now. If we put Epic Universe on it, what would you suggest? Mm-hmm. And then after all of that, they said, if we did this, it would probably double the price of the pass. I'm like, well, then why are you even asking? Anyway, yeah, so it was, but there, I mean, basically, what I got from it is they are trying to figure out how to implement this, and they are putting feelers out to annual pass holders and trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do. I don't know which direction they're going to end up going. I know it's going to be a challenge because the park already has some challenges with capacity. They've already put in. There's a, what do they call that? They filed for a new ride, right? So we know a new attraction already. I mean, they're already looking to add on. So it's going to increase capacity over the next few years. I would say that I love Epic Universe, but I also think that how it operates over the next 5 years, along with adding annual pass holders into the mix, it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be a rocky road a little bit.
Yeah. I think it really, really is. I mean, it's already been a rocky road, right? At least in terms of capacity for Epic Universe. And I know they're trying to overcome some of those issues in some very interesting ways right there. But, a lot of these rides are custom. A lot of these rides have never been implemented before. So the operational experience is limited. And that is a big contributing factor as to why, capacity is what it is, and why you have Comcast executives saying, hey, we're not necessarily at full capacity with this park, even still today. Tom, your thoughts on all of this, please, when it comes to, reservations reservations possibly being part of the mix when it comes to Epic Universe annual passes?
Your reservation system, it depends on how I implement it, but if I got to make a reservation with a pass, it's no longer a pass; it's a may use ticket. Especially you have different tiered passes. You have passes that have more blackout dates. You opt for a high one. We have no blackout dates. You shouldn't even have to worry about making a reservation. That's part of the name. No blackout dates.
Well, and remember, there was a lawsuit over this particular point, actually, with the Disney Dream Magic key over there at Disneyland. Somebody had sued, saying, "Hey, look, you said no blackouts, and yet I am effectively black out when I cannot get a reservation, when all the reservations are taken up." And that's when Disney completely, they ended the Dream Pass. They had a new pass take its place with updated language, updated wording, all of that, and they actually settled with that plaintiff, and made the whole thing go away. But you are right there, Tom. It is effectively a blackout. And here's the thing that I think people. Oh, please, Tom, you're going to say.
Yeah, let's go back to right after the icky bug thing we all had to deal with, and it was shut down. And it opened back up in Florida, and they implemented reservations. I remember them saying this was only going to be for a time being, and they latched onto that and never let go. And that's why I got rid of. I was done. I was paying $1,200 a year for what? To go 3 times a month, 4 times a month. When I used to go a lot more than that, take the wife, would go every. Oh, let's go have dinner at Epcot. Let's go do this. We do that kind of now with Universal. We'll go different places. As far as Epic has some really nice restaurants, so you can have people that want to do that, walk around, taking the ambience, taking different things, and then go have dinner. You do the reservations thing, you're going to lose a lot of people like that.
Yeah, there's no question. No question in my mind that demand would instantly drop off for an Epic Universe annual pass just simply because of that reservation requirement. And here's the thing. I don't think it would be permanent, but certainly to handle the initial demand, I think it would definitely be implemented. And here's why, folks. I want to go ahead and bring this up right here. I think it's really important. This is paint, as you can see. Why am I bringing up paint? Because I'm going to draw you a little bit of shape language right here. Okay, so we're going to draw a little triangle. And you have 3 sides of this triangle.
Eyes.
Oh, your eyes. Oh, sorry about that. I do apologize.
You just poked me. My God.
Is there an option to?
No, I'm teasing you, dude. It's just the whole shape language things.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So here you go. This is the shape language here. This is the triangle, right? And there are 3 sides, as you know. You have, let's say, low price, right? Low. And then we're going to do the dollar sign right there. Yep, I know. I'm
Your artistic talents in this thing is pretty impressive.
Not great. There you go. Okay, and then you have.
Where's Tabitha when we need her? Darn it!
Exactly. So then you have access on one, right? And then you have what is it? Low. Okay. Crowds. I know. I'm on a touchpad doing this on my knees here, guys. So you're gonna have to, just bear with me here. Okay, so we did that in real time. Isn't that great? Isn't this fantastic? 3 sides. You can only have 2 sides of this triangle as a guest, fundamentally, right? You can really only offer this as a theme park proprietor to guests, 2 sides. You can't have them all. If you want to provide guests unlimited access and low crowds, then the price has to go up. If you want to provide guests unlimited access with low price, well, you're not going to get low crowds, right? You are going to get a lot of people that will make their way into that theme park without those inhibitions actually in place.
Lucas,
if you want to go with low crowds, SeaWorld, right? If you want a low price and low crowds, then you have to limit access. We're actually seeing that at Disneyland, for example, when it comes to like the after parties, right? That's a very high price point, but you do get low crowds, and to anybody who can afford it anyway, you do get access to that, right? It's just, unfortunately, the low price isn't actually there.
Vash, you mentioned that when you mentioned that, and even before you mentioned it, I was thinking,
Uh-huh.
I didn't. I wish I could have put this in the survey because it just now came to my mind. But
Sure.
I don't know that any theme park has even attempted this. But maybe what they could do at Epic Universe is have a lot of nights per year where they open it up and access is limited to coming in the park at 6 o'clock, but staying till 2 a.m. And those nights, of course, that's a separately ticketed event. But what if they also offered a pass that was just for those nights? Like you could buy an annual pass and your access would only be allowed on like a special pass just for those nights. I don't know what the price point would be, but that would be an interesting offer. They do something like that now for
Uh-huh.
HHN. And so if any company could do it and pull it off, I think it would be Universal. I don't think Disney would ever do that.
Oh no, I think you're exactly right there, and I think that's a very interesting, intriguing option. Epic Universe was really built from the ground up to be this park where you could have special events and cordon off certain areas, and only allow access to certain areas if you have a ticket and so forth. It's a very interesting park in its construction and its layout in order to facilitate things like that, corporate parties, for example, all kinds of stuff. The only inhibition I think Universal has right now is just staff. It's just, can you get the staff necessary to operate this park, maybe after hours or what would traditionally be third shift or whatever, and facilitate an experience like that. But Ron, I think you're exactly right. They could do something like that. Everybody wants to go to Epic. Everybody wants to be in this park, and it doesn't have the greatest plethora of rides out there in terms of count, right? In terms of roster, it just doesn't have the high rosters that you see at parks that can provide greater capacity, and that is its shortcoming on top of the operational issues that diminish that capacity even further. Tom, I mean, I don't know how you provide access to this park 365 for an annual pass holder base without doing something to mitigate demand initially. Go ahead.
I'm thinking, I bet there'll probably be another round of surveys, at least 2 or 3. There'll be some implementation. They're probably going to change some availability dates and test it out. Supposedly put more up. I mean, the pass holder preview days, you could still get them, right? It's not preview, but the pass holder tickets, you can still get them. I checked today.
Okay.
And they were available. I didn't go out far. They're a little bit less money, but even if that point, let's say they say, okay, you need the passes for this long. All right, I don't do that. I just go to a paid one for the day. It's going to balance out. If I don't want to spend that certain amount over the whole years, I'm still going to go to it. And what's their cap for the day ticket? If you show up at the booth and you buy a ticket that day, are they going to let you in?
That's the big question. That's the big thing. Access to this park. You've seen them curb demand several times when it comes to.
But I also don't think I've seen this maxed yet either.
No, I don't think we have. I think Universal executives will also say the same thing, because they simply can't max it out with what's on offer right now and in the state that it is in. I just don't see it being there.
You're thinking they got to get their other lands open and their expansions done before they even try to do that.
Yes, I do think so. I think it's a big part of it. I want to go ahead and go over this the rest of this Blog Monkey article just for a second. Ron alluded to it, and I think this is really interesting as well. Traditional annual pass upgrade, but price doubles. Another option presented to guests was that Universal Orlando Resort is considering a more traditional AP option. With this option, there was still a theme park reservation requirement. The catch is that a traditional AP would be an upgrade to your current annual pass, and that the total price would roughly double. I think this is very interesting too, because there might be an audience out there who's just like, you know what? I don't really need Epic Universe on my pass. I can just, get by with Volcano Bay, Universal Studios Florida, and Islands of Adventure. And I'm good. Having Epic as an option that you add on, I think is the way to go. And I think having it be almost double the price of the existing parks is a way to curb demand. And if that were implemented, I think the necessity of reservations and the availability of reservations might be adjusted accordingly as well, right? Not as many people might opt in for such a higher price point, and that would provide for reservations to be a little bit more available. Is kind of what you thought?
Yeah, the pricing structure now, let's look at it with the 3 parks. If you don't have a 2-park pass, you say you have a 3-park pass. So you
Right.
have, Islands, Studios, and the water park. I always forget the name of that place because I don't have it.
Volcano Bay.
Volcano Bay. I didn't take it. So if I wanted that, that's roughly what? Another, I think, $200 a year, maybe, or $100 a year. So if they're talking double the cost, are they talking double that part or double the whole thing? They weren't clear on that.
That's interesting.
My understanding is that the price point they were giving was I want to say it was around $530. I'm not looking at anything right now, so that would double it to $1,060, $1,060 a year. I think that's kind of the area that they're looking at.
This is still half.
That's about how much? Figure out per month then. If you took that and you broke that down per month, and you figure, okay, let's say you have a family, your case, Ron, let's say family of 3 right now that you're going to pay for.
Hey, you're looking at $200 a month, probably.
Are you?
For 3.
For 3?
Well,
3. Yeah.
It depends because the way Universal has always done it, that's different than Disney. Disney offers you to be able to, if you're going to make monthly payments, you can pay $205 down, and I think it's even $99 right now, and then whatever's left, they break that up by the month. But Universal is 50% of the pass down, and then the other 50% they break up by the month.
But not on renewal, Ron. On renewal,
no, renewal goes way up because you haven't paid that 50%.
You're not putting it. You're still paying it out, but you're just paying it out at a bigger lump sum. Yeah, actually, no, it's the same amount of money. It's just broken up over the year, and there's no tax on the second year, which is interesting because I didn't get hit with tax if I remember correctly. I got to look into that.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, I see. This is the stuff that I have never engaged in a Universal Orlando Resort pass before, so this is really good stuff. Great information. This is why we have experts on here, guys.
Royal cheese
to give us the
still cheaper than a Magic Key at Disneyland.
That's I was just going to bring that up. The Imagine Key, the highest priced Magic Key, which, by the way, I do believe, I think I remember hearing that that was the most expensive theme park product in the world right now. But if you want that $1,900 Magic Key, that doesn't give you 365, by the way. You're still blocked out for, I think, like 10 days at the end of December right there. And you have to have you have to manage your reservations accordingly in order to get access. That's for 2 parks, right? Versus this, even if they double the price of the buy-in for an AP that includes all 4 parks, I suppose, at Universal's Orlando Resort, that
they still don't have.
Half.
Disney hasn't even brought back the pass that was good at all the domestic parks either. I remember seeing that pass. And this is really funny. The last time that I saw the physical pass, and it was like white with gold lettering, and it got you into all the parks. The last time that you know whose hand it was in? Brooks Lopez, the basketball player, the NBA player, because I happened to be serving him as a cast member, and he's like, "You guys take the discount with this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's really funny. So, yes, Brooks Lopez had an annual pass to all the Disney parks, and he used it to get his discount with me at the restaurant that I worked at.
Hey, you can't blame a man for trying to save on food.
And he can eat plenty. He ate a lot of, he ordered extra tall foods like long celery and long carrots and anything that was big and tall. I don't know why.
Wow, that's
kind of afraid of you, Ron. Kind of afraid.
Interesting. There was one.
I'm kidding about the tall foods, but it was really nice. I can say that.
there was one AP option that I thought was worth bringing up in this, and that was a weekend only annual pass. Here you go. Yet another option
Yeah.
was that a weekend only AP. As it turns out, both Saturday and Sunday have the lowest average wait times for any days of the week traditionally. This weekend only AP would allow pass holders to visit Epic Universe on the slowest days of the week, keeping in mind that the park is still experiencing some very long average wait times. That's a very interesting option as well. I'm not sure whether or not they would implement something like that right now, but back in the day, they used to have some really creative APs for Walt Disney World. I remember you could get into Epcot after a certain time period.
After 4 or 5, I thought.
Yeah. Which I thought was really, really cool because it allowed for people to easily access those restaurants on the other side of the lagoon there and take part in dining there, maybe watching the fireworks show at night, and then moving on with your day. Very, very cool option there. Unfortunately, no longer available, but it looks like Universal is thinking out of the box as well in order to provide access for their newest theme park in Epic.
I'd be happy if they just made an Epic Pass by itself.
Yes. I wonder if they would do that.
It would kind of make sense because until they got everything, it is kind of separate.
Yeah, it is.
I think if they did an Epic Pass by itself, it might be the most expensive option in a way because it's, I would say that's probably the most sought after park out of the 3 right now. When they first opened up the ticket options, remember they opened, what was it? You had to buy a 3 park pass, 3 park pass where you had to use 2 the other days at Islands and Studios. And they sold that, I want to say, for 6 months before they even offered any other options other than to pass holders. So, I'm not exactly sure what they're looking at, but they definitely want to. What I think they really are trying to figure out how to make sure that people going to this park have the best experience they can, because they're getting a lot of complaints about the wait times, especially like with Ministry not working properly sometimes. There are a lot of challenges. And they want to manage that, but but at the same time, they know there's also demand. And it's hard because, I'm thinking, okay, so yes, Epcot, like a pass in the 90s for Epcot or the 2000s for Epcot, and Epcot's like loaded with restaurants, right? So people always use their pass to I'm just going to go in for a couple of hours, eat dinner, maybe get a ride in, come back out. Yes, you'd love to be able to do that at Epic, but what's the capacity like the first few years? And when's it going to start kind of calming down a little bit? Will that be the 3rd year, the 4th year, 5th year? And one of the biggest problems, this is going to sound really weird. One of the biggest problems for demand with Epic right now is Disney. And what I mean by that is people want to go to a brand new, beautiful park that's open instead of going to these parks that half the park is behind construction walls, half the stuff being constructed is replacing beloved things that you're mad that they got rid of. And it's like, I don't know if Disney even knows that they did it, but they actually increased demand to Epic and the other Universal parks, but especially Epic because it's brand new. It's really so bizarre. Just the timing of it.
Really, really strange.
I honestly think, Ron, you're touching on something there. When they did Epic, when they're going to update this, it's behind something that we really can't see it. It doesn't affect the flow of the park if you look at the way they did it. And Disney looks like they're scrambling to update now all at one time. Whoever made that decision really didn't think about it too well.
Oh, no, it was. And who? I'm pretty sure that the person that was highly involved in that decision is now the CEO of the company.
That's a good point right there. Can't discount that.
It's weird. It's just a weird situation to see, what they decided to get rid of the Magic Kingdom, But
Yeah.
what they're adding at Epic, the two different corporations thinking differently,
Mm-hmm.
is very interesting. It's a very interesting time to see this. And
Well, it absolutely is, Tom. That's the thing. I always thought that Disney should have embraced nostalgia, embraced what sets them apart specifically from Epic Universe and the greater Universal Orlando Resort, because you were never going to compete with the newest theme park. But if you could say, hey, you know what? You might be making new memories somewhere else, but this is where your memories were originally made. Let's go ahead and invest in something like Muppets. Let's invest in the Rivers of America. Instead, we did the opposite. And as Ron astutely pointed out, it drove people to the other side. Now, I know Ron has to depart real fast. Tom, don't worry, we'll get you on in here. And MJ, I want to go ahead and bring you on here as well. But before we do that, Ron, where can the people find you out there on Follow the Bradley's Fun?
Well, there it is. Follow the Bradley's Fun. Like, subscribe, share, click notifications, hype anything that has the hype button on it, because that's a new thing that YouTube is doing. And we appreciate all of it. We do live 2 o'clock Monday, 3 o'clock Tuesday, right now 7:30 on Wednesday, but that might actually move to after the Vash VasjSkyPark Cast on Wednesdays, following you up. Because I noticed there's sort of a blank space in there, and I wouldn't mind filling that. Who knows? We might even add more. But we do the lives 3 to 4 times a week. Sometimes my wife and I will go live Sundays at 5 o'clock for a special family dish, if you will. And then there's a lot more videos on the way. I'm just trying to work out a system where I can get a full length video out every day instead of just as short as well. But yeah, there should be a lot more coming up on the channel too.
Cool. Awesome stuff.
I'd like to help him with that. Somebody save me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Go Jogi has your link in the chat, and it's also in the description of this video. Ron, I want to go ahead and thank you so much for coming on. I think you had some really amazing insight, especially on this topic, and as a survey taker, very, very cool. Thank you so much for coming on and being part of Vash VasjSkyPark Cast. Be happy to redirect to you on Wednesdays.
Congratulations, I believe, are in order for meeting monetization requirements. So huge congratulations to you, Vash, and you're gonna pass us all up, and but yet at the same time, it's like High School Musical. We're all in this together.
Absolutely, we are. Any of our successes is shared success right there, and it wouldn't have been possible without you, Ron. So thank you so much for being such a supporter of VasjSkyPark Cast. And hey, you know what? You're welcome on anytime. Thank you so much. We will go ahead and debut memberships and all the monetization extras when we get approved, and we also have some more stuff in the works as part of the 2K. Very cool. Thank you, Ron. We'll go ahead and see you later. Thank you.
Later, Ron.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and bring on MJ in the back right there, waiting very, very patiently into this discussion. MJ, what do you think about all of this? And then, Tom, I'll go ahead and hand to you for final thoughts on this whole thing. MJ, please.
I love being back here. It's so much fun, all the buttons. And I was so tempted to play that shape language clip, and I didn't do it.
Yes. I can only take, Sachi? so much. Sachi. But don't worry, we'll bring her back.
No, I mean, I think it's a great thing for locals. And I think Tom and Ron did a fabulous job touching on all the topics needed for this discussion. I mean, they cannot do reservations. It's going to kill the vibes. Just like Tom said, what if you're a local, you just want to hang out for the day, skip the rides and just take it all in and have dinner and have a good time, do some shopping. They always have really cool merch, and sometimes locals just want to go get their merch, have a couple of treats and go home. And if they have the reservation system could harm that. And I agree 100% with Tom on that one. Yeah, absolutely. The guys did a great job. I think we booked some amazing guests tonight, I should say.
I think we did. I think it was perfectly placed right there. We always try to tailor.
What are you talking about, guys?
Yeah, when he crawled into the crawl space right there, we had to tailor the show.
The food stuff, Ash, like we said,
yeah.
I've been there 5 times and I still haven't been to all the restaurants that are there.
There's more to explore.
Yeah.
at Epic
Yeah,
Universe.
I'm not talking the quick service. I'm talking like the semi-quick, when you walk and you order from the menu. And there's some sit-downs. The Oak and Star I haven't been to.
Oh,
I checked out Pizza Moon, but I haven't eaten there. There's a bunch of other places in there. I've been to the Atlantic. I've been to the Dragon. I've been to, inside Toadstool. Both of the Harry Potter places. And there's still more.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there was one that wasn't even open yet. When you go off the right, it doesn't even have a name yet. It's supposed to be two different things. So,
yeah.
so
And they're still in Celestial Park. Tom, you would know. There's some in Celestial Park next to Pizza Moon, and then there's the ice cream place, and then there's a couple of spaces that are still empty. Are they going to fill those with more restaurants? What do you think?
restaurants and stuff. And then there's that big one. If you're coming back out, let's say you came out of, Paris here and you make the left and you go out that way, there's a couple of big restaurants that weren't even finished. They had no occupants in there, but they're ready to go. So I'm wondering what they're going to put in there.
I know they're working right now on what needs they'll have when it comes to expansion, what the feedback is for what the offerings that they currently have and what they're missing, and they might be basing some of those decisions on that feedback. So folks, those surveys are extremely important. I want to go ahead and shout out a couple of people in the chat right now who graciously decided to join us, like Clifflix, for example. Awesome stuff. OG Dutchy was able to attend this Thursday night stream. Thank you so much for that. Eric and Rafa out there. The Rogue Attraction, Space Save 2000. Thank you so much for joining us for this amazing show right here. And yeah, Ron was absolutely fantastic in that regard. Let's see here. Matt Hatter 7070. What is blackout phase? Okay, so
I told him.
Go ahead, please.
I told him in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
he left.
Well,
do you mind repeating it for the good folks out there that are just joining?
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm just.
Your answer, Tom.
My answer, basically, blackout phase is it's blackout dates. You're blacked from going.
Yep.
You can't use your pass.
You can't use your pass, and that's where you get the tiers, right? So cheaper passes maybe have more blackout dates, more expensive have less. But when you have reservations, it pretty much is a blackout because you can't go if you wanted to. Clifflix with the Vash VasjSkyPark Cast. Anybody know what Epic's target max capacity is? 20K? What number do you not want to ever exceed? Okay, so I have speculated about this a lot, just based on how many attractions that you have, how big the parking lot is, all that kind of stuff. And I think I put it around that number, around 25K. I don't think you want to go much more than that. Disneyland at California, I think its max capacity right now is about 50 to 60K. And remember, that's a plethora of attractions built over 70 years. So I think that's about max capacity for Epic. And let's get into that. Actually, that's a good transition point to get into something I wanted to bring to your attention, Tom. And I know there have been frustrations felt by people in the chat who have gone to Epic and so forth, but this was, I thought, very, very fascinating because it highlighted the difference between Disney and their skip the line options and Universal with its Express Pass. So this is by, let me just get the name right here real fast, your Coaster Friend on X. He decided to go ahead and buy into the $249 Express Pass for Epic Universe specifically. Here was his experience. Let's go ahead and play this out right now.
I spent $249 on an Express Pass here at Epic Universe, so come along with me today to see if it's worth it or not. I timed myself from the moment I entered the Express Pass queue to the moment I sat down on the ride itself. First up was Mine Cart Madness with a wait of 205 minutes, aka 3 hours and 25 minutes. That's
a long time. It's not a high capacity attraction.
It's just insanity. It was the worst normal queue wait of the day that I saw. My actual wait with the Express Pass, 28 minutes and 49 seconds. Just a mere 3 hours less wait. Wow. Next was Yoshi's Adventure with a 65-minute wait. My actual wait was 8 minutes and 24 seconds. Then I got in line for Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge with a 100-minute wait. This was one of my worst express waits of the day, taking 39 minutes and 38 seconds.
Still up there. That's pretty high for that ride. I'm surprised he wasn't able to get in sooner. I know there's some pre-show elements and so forth, but 39 is a little bit high. Still, though, big reduction.
To get on the ride. Still, a 60% reduction in wait though. Stardust Racers with a wait of 85 minutes was next. I got on the ride in 25 minutes and 10 seconds. The second most terrible normal wait queue of the day was Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry.
Are you at all surprised?
About that, how long I waited in a line for that ride? That's insane.
Oh, it's a long wait, folks, but let's see how his experience differed.
At 180 minutes. This one has such long lines. My wait, not 3 hours like everyone else, just 33 minutes and 56 seconds. Hiccup's Wing Gliders had a wait of 115 minutes. It took me 42 minutes and 5 seconds to get on. Unfortunately, there was a 10-minute delay on the ride because of some issue they had. Otherwise, the wait would have been even less. Still better than normal queue though. Curse of the Werewolf was a 65-minute wait, and I waited 7 minutes and 9 seconds, which is just silly. I just walked on. Monsters Unchained had just a 15-minute wait. It took me 11 minutes and 3 seconds in Express. And I think that's about as fast
pre-show, basically,
as you can get on because of the pre-shows that everyone has to wait through. So it was also basically a walk-on. Without Express Pass, that would have been 830 minutes in the normal lines, or almost 14 hours.
14 hours of waiting in line if he had opted to wait for those standby queues instead of Express. That is an absolutely massive number right there.
Meaning I couldn't have ridden everything I did in one visit. Instead, I actually waited 196 minutes, or a little over 3 hours in total, which left me plenty of time to get lots of re-rides. So what do you think? Was that worth the money or not?
Yeah, so remember, Express Pass is a one-time use, at least for Epic Universe right now. There's no Express Unlimited. So he was able to get re-rides after the fact, after having gone through all of his attractions right there. Again, $249, very expensive. But when you consider the value provided, again, you didn't have to, book 3 Lightning Lane reservations in advance, didn't have to keep checking the app, right, in order to book more reservations as you use the ones that you had previously booked. And honestly, I think he had a much better experience, especially for the people waiting in, 830 minutes with a queue around him. Guys, what do you think about Epic Universe Express Pass, the valuation, as opposed to Disney, that comes in at a much lower price with a lot more friction?
Well, I'll let MJ go first.
No, I have a question for Tom, actually. When you went those 5 times, you said you went 5 times to Epic. So when you went, what was your wait like, and did you purchase Express?
Okay. We didn't purchase Express. The first time when it was in a pass holder preview, so they didn't really have them that time. The second time we went, it didn't. We tried to get on Ministry. That was down at the time, which I expected. It was still kind of new. Third time, I believe that's when I went with, I went with, my brain just went like, Barry Place 28. And I went with him and, his family. We had a good time, but Battle of Ministry got messed up. We had a very interesting day that day. We had to get comped tickets for the next day because everything was down. They had a problem. Everything was down.
That's good to know. And imagine if
back.
you were coming out of town. Wow. Okay, good to know. Go ahead, Tom.
We went back. Well, they comped us. The customer service people, they did a nice job. They gave us comp tickets because everything was, I get it. Things break. I got it. But, I felt bad for Bob and his family because, well, they're from out of town. He does have tickets so he can come back and use them wherever him and his family also. They never expire. They didn't give me a use by date, which is great, which I got to commend them for that. I went back with my brother, and I used my free day to get in there with my wife, my brother, and his wife, my sister-in-law. And we sat for 5 hours almost on Battle of Ministry queue. We were at the halfway mark. and there was no communications inside the queue line. You couldn't hear it. It was crazy packed. Needless to say, we were kind of wondering what was going on. There was no way we're getting in or out of it. So we waited. We got on the ride. When we were done, we went and talked to the reservation system and, to the people at reservation. And they were like, well, what can we do for you? I'm like, well, we'd like to come back another day because they came from out of town. They didn't get to see most of the park. They just got to sit in a ride. They didn't get to eat. It ruined we lost the reservation that we had at a restaurant. We couldn't get out of this. So they gave us on 2:00 and after. So we continued on the rest of the day, did a bunch more of the rides. And then we went back the next day after 2:00 and we did everything that we couldn't do. We ate, they got to check out more of the parks and everything else. That being said, the Monsters ride, in my opinion, is more fun than the Harry Potter ride. The queue's great in the Harry Potter ride. The queue's
I've heard
really
a lot
good
of
in the
that.
Monsters ride. But the Monsters, the way they got that queue running, they get through people really fast. From what I overheard is they have different crews that run the attractions. And the Monsters ride runs it more efficiently.
So basically, you guys went without express, and this is your experience that you had. Now,
Yes.
if you were able to tell people that have the budget to purchase an express, Vash, what was the gentleman's cost for that express for just him? $249, correct?
$249. Yep.
And then that on top of that, your base ticket, which could be $180 to $200 depending on the
Yeah.
day. So you're
You're-
talking about almost a $400 or $500 day for one person. If you had
Correct.
the money for it, Tom, would you recommend that express to anyone out there?
Probably, I would say if you had the money, but I wouldn't strap yourself for it. It also depends how many days you're going to the park also. If you got like a three-day park thing, yeah, that's right. Oh, the single ladder rides. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them, the single ladder, they opened up as we were waiting in the ministry, which confused the hell out of us. We're like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
But the single rider line for like this ride, Monsters didn't need one. Werewolf, they got on quick. Mario Land, it's always packed. And I went on the roller coaster ride, and that Minecart Madness, that was my least favorite out of all of them. It just,
Mhm.
You're talking
didn't
about
think
Super
the ride
Nintendo
well.
World, right? You said Super
Yeah,
Nintendo World?
Nintendo World,
Okay.
but Donkey Kong Land, which is right there.
Yep.
You
Okay.
know,
Yep.
I enjoyed the Mario ride more than I enjoyed the Donkey Kong ride.
Yeah, I mean, I always recommend single rider line. I just never did it at Epic yet, but I highly recommend to anyone utilize that single rider line if you can. But yeah, Tom, I mean, it's just those express passes, man. It's almost like if you're a local, maybe not so much, but if you are coming in from out of town or out of the country and you don't know when you're coming back, I say bite the bullet and get the express because you don't know when you could get comped tickets that never expire, but you have to plan your vacation again and your flights and your hotel stay and everything else that comes on top of that. So it's, that's just how I see it. Yeah.
But listen,
And there's one thing that people are, even with the Express Pass, if a ride is down, the ride is down. So if you spend all that money on Express Pass and a ride goes down, it's the ride you wanted to do, because you got to book those Express Passes. What he didn't say, you got to book them before you get there.
Mm.
You got to book them when you book your tickets, because they sell quick. They have a very limited number of them.
right. To be clear, you have to purchase that express ticket, right, before you get there. So
Yes.
that's what you mean?
In
Okay.
advance. Yes, in advance, because he's right.
Right.
They do sell out completely. Absolutely.
Of course, as opposed to like booking attractions as you would for Disney's Lightning Lane system. Look, my feeling on it is for it's thousands of dollars to get to Orlando if you're coming in from out of state, right? And you are spending hundreds a day the longer you stay there, because you have food and lodging and maybe even transportation costs included in there. So to maximize a trip to Epic like this, I think is a solid move. Again, if you can afford it, and again, if you have a big family, that might not, always work out that way. But if you have a limited group and so forth, and you're only going to be in Epic one day maybe, and you don't have a lot to time to spend, right? And those costs exponentially increase for every single day. It might be worth just, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do $250 a piece in order to experience the attractions that I want to in Epic Universe. It all comes down to people and how they actually use these parks. But look, for a busy day in Magic Kingdom or in any of the Walt Disney World parks for that matter, sometimes when you buy into Lightning Lane, as I think I was on with Capture the Magic recently, he was saying, look, it's sometimes the worst time to buy into Lightning Lane if it's a busy day, just because of how quickly the reservations will go. You just don't get that much value out of it. Versus this, it's a much higher price point, right? But it's limited supply. They only sell so many a day, as we went over, and you don't have to book your attractions in advance. You just get one ride per visit right there, and I think that's a pretty decent valuation. Again, such different price points, but I've advocated for Disney to move towards a universal model rather than what they have right now. If we're never going to get Fast Pass back, let's at least provide value to those who buy into it and reduce the Lightning Lane lines so that the standby actually moves. That'd be my call. I just want to go ahead and share that with you because I thought that was very, very interesting. We had a question come in actually about the Disney Legends. Don't worry, James, we are going to be covering Disney Legends in just a moment. This is such a fascinating discussion, and folks, you won't want to miss this one because somebody's on this list right here. And every one of you know, and you will be maybe surprised, shocked, or maybe it's just consistent with this person being on this list.
About this.
You might have to write a new parody song, yes. Which, by the way, we actually had to play your latest one, which I thought was hilarious, featuring What's Going On in C-Suite. I thought that was really, really cool. Okay, so we have one more Epic Universe story must get to before we go to Disney Legends. It is, as alluded to by Tom, new permit signals next milestone for rumored Harry Potter expansion at Universal Epic Universe. Yes, so we had clued you in, at least, I, Jonas, and other members of that park place had clued you in some months ago, talking about the permit that was filed to expand Epic. And they were a little cagey on it, right? It was like, yeah, we're expanding Epic. Oh, wait, no, we're not. We're doing this and all this stuff. Look, guys, we know that you're having capacity issues. We know that you want to expand this park in its footprint as fast as you can. Well, here you go. This is from Mike over there at Block Mickey. This morning, the morning of, what was this article written again? March 26th. So today, basically. Here we go. Yes. This is giving me problems. I don't know what is going on. This morning, Universal Orlando Resort filed a new permit likely related to the rumored expansion of the Harry Potter themed land in Epic Universe. This permit is for the installation of a PEMB, which stands for Pre-Engineered Metal Building. This new building will likely be located in a backstage area behind the current Harry Potter land that we've been tracking since last November. And here is the latest. A new permit was filed this morning for the PEM construction at Epic Universe. This permit, filed by the City of Orlando, lists Baker Barrios Architects, Inc. as the applicant on behalf of Universal and the Whiting Turner Contracting Company as the proposed contractor for the project. At this point, there's very little information in the permit application beyond the companies listed, and a project square footage space of 150,000 square feet. For those who have been watching the rumors of an expanding Harry Potter presence at Epic Universe, that 150,000 square feet number might ring a bell. Back in November, the initial permit for work rumored to be related to the Harry Potter expansion listed exactly that 150,000 square feet to describe the project area. By December, an updated version of the permit referenced the project number of the Harry Potter land at Epic Universe, Project 905. While this isn't list 905, we're connecting a few dots right here. And it goes on to offer what is maybe in the works for this. We know it's going to be a huge soundstage, ride show building for what is going to take place within this Harry Potter attraction right here. Very, very cool stuff. Tom, when you visited Epic and when you visiting the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I've heard a lot of people say the Wizarding World over there is a little bit disappointing just because of the lack of really substantial things to do, unlike the previous incarnations
they got,
of Harry Potter. Please.
yeah, kind of. It's the other lands in the Harry Potter lands are a little bit more active. Let's say that with different rides, they got multiple rides. This one has one ride and a show. The show's outstanding, but if that ride goes down, that show hits max capacity because there's nothing there to do there. I mean, there is shops, there is places to eat, different things. There's different things to check out. That's part of the show there. Circus Hakanoo. Wand shop is cool. They have a lot of cool little wand things to do. That one's a hoot. That one blows area. It's hilarious. But there's certain spots where you look, it looks like it could go to another area. It looks like they pre-built that part to lead into another part of it.
I see.
And it's just kind of closed off, and it kind of doesn't make any sense.
Are you talking about that area next to the Goblet Noir, or where the stairs are where the musicians play?
Where the stairs are where the musicians play.
Okay.
And because some of those buildings actually part of the ride building for the show, and then if you look at it from the top, have you ever really seen the Epic preview area, MJ? Have you gone into that building in City Walk?
I haven't gone in there, but I've seen so much POV I could barf. So
No.
for it.
We have the model there. The
the
model is,
Yeah.
the model kind of tells, because once you're there and when you're looking at the model top down,
Mhm.
you can start to think, it's like, well, why'd they just cut that part out? Why is it shaped? Why is it like that? So you get what I'm saying, Vash? It's a little.
Yeah. Well, some of these modern parks will do this now. Well, they have built-in expansion pads, right? These little areas and these little alcoves that maybe will connect to other areas in the future, right? But you leave those, basically blank until you maybe get approval for phase 2, or when management says, hey, you know what, we need new attractions. Here you go. We're going to use this expansion space. You kind of pre-build that out because, when these early theme parks didn't really build or account for expansion, and that left some severe problems, as Disney has experienced lately with Disney's Hollywood Studios, for example, right? They place this here, they place this there, they place this everywhere, and now you have some really awkward moments within that park versus something like Epic Universe. I think they like that symmetry, they like how this park functions, and they want to go ahead and maintain that. So that's where you get those expansion areas from. Very, very interesting there, Tom. I did not realize that, but it makes sense why you would want to have, if you had a very high demand area like Harry Potter, for example, why you'd want multiple entrance and exit points potentially. Makes sense.
You can keep things going and have something expand and not lose it to downtime to a whole area. It just kind of makes sense engineering wise. I mean,
of course,
they don't even need to do they can build their arch, their gateway last. Let's say they're doing a whole new land. They can do that part last, have the rest of it ready to go, and have minimum amount of
great point.
obstruction and bad sight lines, so to speak, to their customers, their people. Yes, you could see it from a hotel. You're gonna be able to see it from high up, but when you're down in it, you're not going to.
Right. And that's it's part of the magic, by the way.
Pretty good
for hotels.
They're pretty good. I will say Disney did have better sightline things. Yeah. And I use that word did.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you been inside the Helios by any chance? Can you oversee, like when you oversee the whole park, can you see that part you're talking about or no?
The bottom of it, but I haven't been to the top yet. I was going to do the dining up there, but that was the day that happened with my brother, and that got all screwed up.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
No good.
Would I go again and try that? Maybe we'll just go eat at Helios and just see what it looks like in the park.
Yeah, and save your receipt because you get free valet. Oh, I haven't been, but I know.
Interesting. I did not. I didn't realize that.
If you make a reservation and you eat at the Helios, you can absolutely get your valet taken care of. And there is a limit though. There is a time limit they give you, but yeah, you got to save your
They let
receipt.
you walk around the park.
Well, they let you walk around the hotel itself. You could, it's got a nice view, but they do give you a time limit, but it's so you validate your parking. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Yes. It's very good.
Very interesting. Wow.
Yes.
Well, I mean, this park definitely needs expansion, right? This park definitely needs more capacity, more things to do. Harry Potter, I think, is a decent place to start. I mean, we were all hoping for Dark Universe to really, be the one that gets the first expansion, only because that area of the park is so small. But I can understand why.
Rides.
Okay.
It has 2 rides.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see them do an actual show there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be awesome, and very much in keeping with Universal's history, as there have been monster shows in the past, at least at Universal's Hollywood anyway.
Oh, yeah, no.
For Florida, though, okay, please, Tom.
That line looks like that's going for when we came out of ministry the one time, the line was stretched out crazy like that. Yeah, that's going to, let's see. Looking to see where it goes, because that might be ministry.
Yeah, no, I think that is Battlefield
for
Ministry.
So if you keep going, if you go to the left, let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, that's going to Cirque.
Battle. Yeah, it's the Battle of the Ministry straight up ahead to the right.
No,
oh yeah, that is going to the ministry.
Yeah, it's going to Battle of Ministry. You
I
can
was
tell
with
it's
you,
a
Tom.
morning shot.
Yeah, I was with Tom on that. I thought
goes.
you would have to go left, but yeah.
Yep.
Like he said, Dark Universe, it has the two rides. You have your Igor interaction, you have your Invisible Man interaction, there's a musician, and then you have your Frankenstein and his bride, the bride of Frankenstein's monster. But he's right about like a show. Like, remember the Beetlejuice show that they used to have at Universal Studios with the graveyard? Something that would be really cool for Dark Universe, because those monsters are beloved, and they have all the merch with the the creature, the sea creature, and Dracula. Just they could do it. It's Universal. If they can do fan fest nights and give a really good show and entertainment, they can put something like that in. And I think Epic, like I said the other day, I cannot emphasize this enough. It is such an infant park. There's so much still to do. And if you can wait and hold off, I really think it's going to be worth your wait, because I think that the possibilities are endless with this park. It's their newest baby, and she's just going to grow, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to blow a lot of other parks in the area out of the water.
Absolutely. I think this park has incredible potential, and it does absolutely have the potential to be the very best park in all of the Orlando area, as long as Universal and Comcast executives have the courage to pursue it, which it looks like they are, which is good. The corporate event space will also be very good, I think, for the long-term health of this park, because it'll bring in more cash, more revenue in order for reinvestment into this park. So I think it's super, super cool. I love how they are investing here. Maybe not, in the way that us theme park. Oh, please.
This is total hypothetical, but
yeah,
let's say we're all at Epic. Well, we're at you can pick the theme park for the 3 Universal parks in Florida. Okay. You have to get stuck in a queue for a day. Which one are you going to be stuck in?
That's interesting. So I've not been to Epic yet myself. So I'm going to exclude those for the time being. However, what we're seeing right here on screen right now with the Battle of the Ministry, pretty awesome, pretty cool. I think for a day,
you can't leave it for a day.
I can't leave it for a day. Let me think about this. I think, yeah.
And audience, the audience too. If you guys been to Epic, if you had to get stuck in a queue for a day, which one would it be?
It's between, for me, the Harry Potter attractions that exist at both Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure, right? Forbidden Journey and
Forbidden Journey,
Oh,
Are you
there's
talking
the
about Green Gots Bank?
Gringotts? Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Those two queues are absolutely phenomenal. Very, very interesting. I might go with the original Forbidden Journey because I do love that queue so much. And there's so many little alcoves and there's so much detail that I unfortunately pass by all the time at Universal Studios Hollywood. I'd like to be immersed in that for a little bit longer. MJ, what do you think?
Well, I would like to engage the audience to please put down the attraction, the queue that you guys really, really enjoy. If you had to be stuck, like Tom said, put it in the
Yeah.
live chat. But I kind of feel Disney fan 55 on that one because I love Jurassic Park so much and I love Harry Potter. But the dinosaurs in blue, I think I would probably want to get stuck over there in Jurassic Park somewhere.
Nice. Nice.
That's
What
just
about
me.
you, Tom?
That's just
Me?
me.
Yeah.
I would pick Battle of the Ministry for 2 reasons.
Mm.
Oh, please.
They have a food cart and there's a couple of bathrooms.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's really cool to know.
Nice.
Well, with those 3-hour waits, you got to have a bathroom and a changing table. My gosh.
There's family zones in them too, so you can waiting areas, child swap. But there's actually a little food vendor.
That's so freaking
Mm.
awesome. That's really cool. You know, that's the creativity Universal has that really sets them apart from the other parks.
Yeah.
What other park has a food kiosk in a little, in a queue line? That's amazing.
Well, Avatar Flight of Passage originally didn't start out with bathrooms. They add those later.
Yes.
Universal thinking that off the bat right there. Food, pretty cool. Function over form. I like it, Tom. I like it. Epic Universe.
There are some good answers in the quest in the chat. Yeah, I can read.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's see what we got here.
A lot
Be our
here.
guest. Be our Geist right here. Sorry, the Mummy for you.
Oh, the
Universal
Mummy.
Studios Orlando, Forbidden Journey for LA, and Monsters Unchained for Epic. Nice. I'm a crazy person, but a roller coaster I wouldn't mind. Very nice as well. I'd be willing to be stuck in. This is O2RR here. I'd be willing to be stuck in Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Very interesting. Yeah, that's a great queue. Fantastic queue right there. Lots of little details, and I'm not like the biggest Nintendo fan on the planet, but if you were, that queue is the queue for you. Super, super cool. Velocicoaster, yeah. I think that's an interesting one for sure. Those Raptors are super cool, but some of the other elements leave a little bit to be desired for me. But I can't help but get hyped for that coaster when I'm in that queue. Super, super cool. All right, let's go ahead and go down I-4 right here over to Walt Disney World. There's a couple stories that I want to go ahead and highlight here just before we get into the Legends talk, because I think it's going to dominate pretty much that, the entire remaining time that we have. Actually, WW Pro brought out the fact that, hey, look, listen, with these freezes affecting Walt Disney World, we might see some really distinct loss of plant life, especially in places like Animal Kingdom. And it looks like Pro was correct. You can see right here, first starting out at Epcot, those beautiful palm trees right there that flank each side of Spaceship Earth as you're going in right there. Looks like those have been heavily affected. Not good right there. Animal Kingdom, though, feeling the big brunt of it right here. A lot of trees have been either removed in the process of removal or have died. This by Harrison High-Toe 2. That was by Reconstruct, by the way. Thank you so much. You can see right there, not good. A lot of dead foliage and trees, I guess, also affecting Pandora, which is not good. Just beautiful old growth trees that have been there probably since this park opened in 1998, now being heavily affected. Here you go. Right there. I think this is in the middle. Is this just outside Harambe Village? Does anybody know?
It looks like
Kind of looks that way, right?
yeah.
Just want to make sure. But big tree in the central courtyard right there that has died, and you can see right here some more foliage in some other places. No good. I don't like seeing this. Hopefully, we get some new plants installed when these are removed. But guys, these are theme parks. Parks is definitely part of the equation right there. What say you? How do you feel about, some loss of life when it comes to the foliage and horticulture around Walt Disney World property?
Being that I am Floridian and I have some of these plants natively in my front yard and my backyard, I'm used. It is what it is. We had a weird winter.
Yeah. There's really nothing you can do. Not when you have
You got to
twice
trim them and hope they come back. That's it.
Yeah.
I really think the company was not anticipating this type of freeze that we had. I believe it was 75 years since it got this cold. I really think that they didn't take the precautionary route. They do have their own team internally that takes care of the trees and the plants and the flowers. But yeah, it's a sore sight for your eyes. But I think this time next year it should be in better shape. It's not going to go away anytime soon. It's going to take some time for those trees to recuperate. And believe me, I know. And the cost to replace them are really, really hefty.
It's enormous. It's enormous to remove these trees.
What they do need to be careful with is if they have lost life in the roots into the soil, it could be a hazard, trees falling on people. So they need to really be careful.
No, yeah. And tree infections and so forth, that's really a thing. Unfortunately, we have lost a number of trees at Disneyland because of that phenomenon. That's no good. And Disneyland having multiple tree issues, as we've gone over here before. Walt Disney World, though, not getting off easy, especially with those freezes. I think a lot of people... I saw a lot of commentary out there saying, hey, if it just happened one night, maybe they could have survived it. But the quick succession of multiple nights, that's what really did them in.
It went cold, bad. It warmed up again for a little bit, and then it dropped again. And they started to come back, and it just double banged them.
So bad. Never like to see that. Hoping that Disney takes the initiative.
Everything else too. Other crops are affected. Other things are affected.
All over the place, and right before our flower garden. So no good right here. It's not what you want to see. Hopefully Disney takes the initiative to not only remove those trees, but also to replace them. We can only hope for saplings, but it'd be better than a tree not there permanently in the future. This one coming out of Singapore, by the way. Disney Adventure notifies guests not to steal from staterooms. This is Walt Disney World News Today. Crazy stuff right here.
No blanket? What did they steal?
March 26, 2026. This is new for this market right here, at least DCL. After just a few voyages, the Disney Adventure has put notices in staterooms reminding guests not to steal items. Apparently, guests have been taking stateroom amenities they weren't supposed to take. Here you go. The paper printed slip sits on the stateroom's desk when guests arrive, and here's what it reads. Welcome on board the Disney Adventure. We are so excited to have you sailing with us. To ensure your voyage is as relaxing as possible, we have outfitted your stateroom with a variety of amenities and special touches. While we want you to enjoy these items throughout your voyage, please remember that they are intended to stay within the room for all guests. To appreciate any stateroom items that are removed after your departure will be charged to your onboard account. Thank you for helping us protect the magic for everybody. Guests are likely taking things from like the custom Disney Cruise Line towels and blankets. Guests can take special bedding and gifts that they pre-purchased. Wow. Very, very interesting stuff right here. I didn't quite anticipate this. Maybe I should have. But this is really really interesting right here. Tom, what say you?
Bob's showers.
What was that?
Did they take one of Bob's showers?
Oh yeah. Well, no, Bob would have never allowed that to happen. No. Hopefully they did take showers though.
I really wonder if they did this because it's a ship on the other side of the world. It's the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how people are, especially the ones that got hosted.
Yeah.
They might try to sell some of that stuff on eBay.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a market for it for sure. There's no question about that. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely wild why anybody would actually do that. But this is interesting too, because I know somebody, I'm not going to reveal who they are. They knew who they are, who did take a blanket from, I think it was one of the Disney cruise lines that they had experienced. I think it was for the first time. And they had that throw at the edge of the bed, and it was like, let's go ahead and let's take that. From what I understand, they weren't charged. But
I mean, okay, you take some toiletries. Hey, I like
Yeah.
that soap. I get it. But
Sure.
a blanket?
You can't do that. You can't do that.
And you know what?
It's so good.
Tom is absolutely right. And this is why the resorts at Walt Disney World do not even have anything on the bedding. You have
Yeah.
pillows and white blankets. That's it.
It's no good. I don't like it. I don't like it, I'm sure. But obviously, these things happen. I've not seen a notice like this put on any other cruise lines. So maybe they're, I don't want to cast aspersions or anything like that. Obviously, we're being respectful. As we noted previously on the Vash VasjSkyPark Cast, when talking about the Disney Adventure, there might be some cultural differences right there, and some cultural norms that might be just a little bit different than what we experience in North America and other parts of the world. I just wanted to go ahead and highlight this because I thought it was really, really interesting, the operational challenges that are becoming part of the Disney Adventure as Disney looks to service this new area for them. Very, very interesting. Okay, folks, you guys have been waiting for it.
Who was that?
Oh, that was Scarlet Witch, I do believe. Yes.
Is that the Avengers show?
Oh,
No,
the
sorry,
Avengers, yeah.
Marvel. Some kind
Yeah,
of
it's a Marvel show. This one aspect of this is really, really cool. So this courtyard right here, it's a feature of the ship that you're not really going to be able to do, much with, right? Again, Disney bought this ship when it was the Global Dream, and then they Disney-fied it and made it the Disney Adventure. This courtyard feature that you see here, we've seen this with a lot of modern luxury cruise liners from other proprietors, right? But this is not really a staple for Disney. What do? They did this kind of show performance space, and actually it's one of the really, really great features of this this cruise liner that really it sets it apart for sure from the other cruise liners in the fleet, but also too it has that kind of distinct entertainment focused showcase that I think is really unique for this. So very, very cool. But Scarlet Witch is up there. And I do believe there's some other characters that join her as well, maybe like Doctor Strange or something. Go ahead.
They had to really nail it with entertainment on this particular ship.
Yes.
Really and truly, I saw so much POV on the entertainment for even the dinner shows were really excellent. And the reason why they had to hyper focus on that because this is a floating theme park on the water. There are no destinations. You're just in Singapore in the ocean, and then you dock right back where you came back from.
Does not make port.
That's why they had to really nail it with the entertainment, rare character meet and greets, and the food I heard was excellent. I mean, you can imagine the kind of food, right? It's Asian cuisine, and who doesn't like Asian cuisine? So they really had to get it right on that one. Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody on X talk about how, I don't want like a floating theme park or whatever. And it's like, look, listen, if your cruise liner doesn't make port, having a variety of entertainment options available, I think is crucial to satisfying your consumer base. Otherwise, maybe they would get off and enjoy the beach and Castaway Key and all of that. But that just wasn't an option here. So going entertainment heavy, I think was the right call. And it does harken back to this idea about a literal floating theme park that back in the Michael Eisner days, they did kind of float out there. Yes, pun intended. What it was basically like a repurposed oil tanker that would have like legit theme park attractions up on top right there, like boat rides, dark rides, all that kind of stuff. It would make port and it would be open up for a limited time, and then it would sail away and make port again. And that was an idea of bringing the Disney theme park experience around the world. Fascinating stuff. Never went forward with it, but that's where the theme park at sea has its roots. Very cool. All right, guys, you've been waiting for it. It is the Disney D23 Ultimate Fan Event. With its legend ceremony, it has been announced, and those inductees have been announced with it, obviously. So here you go. I think to start out with, the tickets, the dates, they've been revealed. I wanted to bring up this one specific thing, though. We know it's going to be expensive. It's D23, the Ultimate Fan Event. This is kind of how it goes. They did change one thing, though, when it comes to ticket acquisition here. Okay, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event 2026 goes on sale April 2nd, exclusively for D23 Gold members. Apparently, you have to be a Gold member to purchase tickets, not to attend, but to purchase tickets. So if you have somebody in your party, let's say, who purchase tickets as a D23 Gold member, even if those other party members aren't D23 members themselves, you can still attend. But limiting it to Gold, now you have another price in which you are incurring if you want to go to this event and buy tickets for it. What say you guys? I thought that was really, really surprising if they would implement something like that, making it even more exclusive than it was via its high price point.
As soon as you said Gold member, I just thought James Bond, and my mind went, "What's Disney doing?"
It's a fantastic point right there.
100
I
level
mean, please.
sections, $1,499. Really?
It's unbelievably expensive.
I'm looking at 200 level sections at the bottom, 3 days. Why?
Yeah. And this is the thing. So I actually got this wrong. These are the 2024 prices.
What?
These are not 2026 prices. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry about this.
Okay, let's see it.
Let's go ahead and get to the pricing for this year's Day 23 Ultimate Fan Event right here. Here we go. This is the pricing for this year. As you can see,
Okay,
you
so
have
$1,200.
maybe, possibly, no.
Oh,
That did not happen.
oh,
Yeah. It's really high. And look, this used to be far more fan oriented, as BR Geist actually points out right there.
So
Pricing fans out. It wasn't this expensive back in the
my
day.
chicken is the $49 one for one day in the afternoon.
Well, yeah, that's afternoon. You know, a lot of panels have already taken place, and that's the thing about this as well. The panels, right? And the afternoon price, I think, is just for shops, and so forth, right?
That's so they can say as low as $49.
Yes. The issue I've had with this is that it's a lottery system to see whether or not you're actually going to get into panels. You might not actually be able to get into the panel that you want. It's extremely expensive. And just to get decent seats at the Honda Center for those big events right there, you can see just the price being asked right there. Tremendous. You still have to get transportation over to the Honda Center, which is the whole thing. It is a nightmare to go to any of these right here. No good. I went 1 year. I was fine after that. It's not quite my bag. But a lot of people do like it. They want to go, and they get those higher tier passes to get them a lot of access to these various events, panels, and so forth. So if you're one of those people, hey, good for you. And hey, you're going to be looking at the Legends ceremony, which we do have the inductees announced. Here you go, folks. This is from Disney themselves. I did cut out the music on this because I didn't want to get copyright struck, obviously. But here is the announcement of Disney Legends 2026. Here we go!
Disney Legends. This is the company's highest honor, and you're not going to believe who's next. It's time to announce the 2026 honorees, starting with Chris Berman, Jerry Bruckheimer.
Okay. Chris Berman, very good. He's been in ESPN for a long time. Stalwart there. Definitely needs to be recognized. I think he's very appropriate. Jerry Bruckheimer, huge producer, has produced a lot of films, not just Pirates of the Caribbean for Disney, but I believe also National Treasure, a couple of others. Rightfully so. I think that's appropriate.
Susan Egan.
Susan Egan, if you're not familiar, she is really known on Broadway and has embodied many of the characters that Disney has brought to Broadway via their, animated film adaptations. So that's kind of where she sits. I mean, yeah, BR Geist, she deserves it for sure. I'll go with that. I'm not familiar with her work, but hey, that she's been there for a long, long time. Probably appropriate.
Eric Goldberg.
Eric Goldberg, famous animator for The Genie, but has participated in many kind of Disney events, D23 events, has really been supportive of animation and so forth, has been consulted on for a number of animated works post his Renaissance career, and he was very prolific then, and will be featured as part of the new Animation Academy coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios very soon.
Anne Hathaway.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Anne Hathaway, Devil Wears Prada, Devil Wears Prada 2, I believe, is what we're recognizing her for. Do you think Anne Hathaway should have a Disney Legend? What do you think, Tom, MJ?
She did Princess Diaries. She did a lot of stuff in the past. You have to understand too, she was in that live animation for Alice in Wonderland. I mean, I can just go on and on and on about all the different films that she's done, but yeah, Tom, are you familiar with Anne Hathaway? Because my family is pretty
No.
familiar. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. I just didn't want to shun you, you know.
I recognize her face. I just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was the in Alice in Wonderland live action.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there was so there's the Red Queen, and then she's the other one, which I can't
I've
remember
seen her in other movies. I just never put her together with Disney.
I think the Princess Diaries are pretty popular, in my opinion. They were pretty popular.
That's true. Princess Diaries. She's a very prolific actress. I'm not sure, if I mean, the Disney Legends for me, it's kind of a high bar right there. I don't know. Anne Hathaway, she's been a part of some hits. Maybe she's just squeaking by if we put her in there. But Sylvie, Anne Hathaway, being recognized, and MJ, thank you so much for providing her filmography as it's attached to Disney. I forgot about those films that she was a part of.
Yeah, naturally. I mean, Ella Enchanted, was that Disney or was that someone else? I can't remember. Ella Enchanted was another one that she did. I mean, these are all movies that, the girls grew up watching. I'm talking about my two daughters. But if anyone else in the audience knows, and yes, at Space Dave with the one with Johnny Depp where he was the Mad Hatter, that's the one that she was in. Right. And there's her character right there. So they're probably, it's so funny how Disney Legends is putting the character that she played in the Alice in Wonderland, because that's the only thing I can think of that would really stand out as far as like a Disney film. But that Alice in Wonderland was that was a big deal for them when they did that live action Alice.
Yes, making over $1 billion. I would also say too, Devil Wears Prada, I think, is the other one that is pretty big for Disney. But, so Levy, there you go.
Kim Irvine.
Kim Irvine, Kim Irvine, definitely for sure.
Anne Hathaway.
From her work in the Haunted Mansion recently, but and she's standing next to her work in Small World. I wouldn't have showcased that, but okay. She brings characters to Small World in Disneyland, and got a lot of criticism for it. I think some of that valid, some of that not for sure. They took it a little bit too far in that specific aspect right there, but that's what we got. And she was very dutiful in her duties to be respectful of what came before, because again, she's being assigned this task, right, to infuse Disney characters into It's a Small World. You got to think Disney would have done that anyway without her. So to put her in charge of that project was the right move, and I think she did a pretty respectable job given the task that she was doled out. Haunted Mansion, obviously, we went over that, and how interior-wise the Haunted Mansion did receive a couple of upgrades that were very much well received by fans. Good stuff with the bride and everything else. She did say some comments about maybe possibly doing something with the the stretching room scene. We'll see what comes about from that, but she has retired, so it will be handled by somebody else. Unfortunately, she's also associated with what was outside of the mansion recently added to Disneyland, and that was that horrible shack or gift shop that was added. Terrible. We covered that extensively on both TVPO and TPP back in the day. Yeah. Really bad. It's just horrible. The scale, the vibe, the aesthetics, all of it not good.
Don't get a shack from Home Depot and repurpose it without making sure it's waterproof.
Exactly. That's a great point right there. Yeah. And that it's graded. Oh, terrible. But Got to put her on her ledger. That being said, though, she did do the treehouse recently at Adventureland in Disneyland. Very, very good. She did repaint the castle, and I thought that was a very good project of hers as well. That color scheme being very different from what came before, but I think really highlights the beauty of that castle, and is it's definitely a Disneyland signature today. Did also, too, the redo of the, what is it, Scary Adventures of Snow White. What's it called again? Hang on. I've got it up here. Yes. Snow White's Scary Adventure. Yes. So now it's, what is it? Snow White's Enchanted Wish, right? Gave that attraction and a proper ending. Very, very good. I got to be honest. Kim Irvine, she's got more hits than misses, which is very, very good. Also, too, back in the day when Disney wasn't maintaining this stuff, she and a couple of other, maintenance technicians went back and actually maintained stuff like the Primeval World diorama and stuff like that on their own kind of dime. Like, she was committed, and obviously, she has a illustrious patronage, right, or I should say parents. So that's something right there. Look, I like Kim Irvine. I do. I know. She wasn't handled the best tasks at the end right there. Pirates of the Caribbean also is one of those as well, which she worked on to varying degrees of success. But again, like, these things would have been handled by anybody else. I'm glad they were given to Kim, and I'm glad they were handled the best way they could possibly be handled as initiatives by the company, not her. There you go. Space 2000. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. Let's move on. Oh, there we go.
Kim Irvine. Dwayne Johnson. So
why? For the Jungle
He's
Cruise?
been in the news. Yeah, okay.
That's his role right there for the Jungle Cruise. That movie was
Right.
so bad. I'm sorry.
Not good. I mean, he was so miscast for that role. It's embarrassing. His big thing for Disney is obviously not Jungle Cruise. It's Maui. For Moana, that's the big one right there. He is not only playing Maui in live action, but he was the voice for Maui for Moana 1 and 2. That's his big claim to fame. I don't know, I guess he's done some things. And I suppose it's like, okay, well, you did recognize all the princesses, right? Which are limited to mainly one film, maybe some sequels, VHS and stuff like that. But still, it's like, I guess. I mean, Moana is like their biggest, animated film in the recent era, right? Next to Frozen and a couple of others. So I suppose you could recognize him for that, but I don't know. This is kind of like a Josh Gad thing to me, where it's like, really?
Do people pay to get on this? I mean, can they pay Disney to get on this thing? Because
not to my knowledge, no. But they honor the Disney Legends is kind of like the Oscars, right? In that, sometimes these things are handed out in order to forge relationships for the future. Maybe
that's what I mean by paying.
Yeah, it's we'll go through this list because this last one. This really puts the entire Disney Legends thing into doubt. But here you go. Dwayne Johnson, I guess he's a legend now.
Jonas Brothers.
Okay. Jonas Brothers. I'm going to go on a limb here. I think this is fairly appropriate because when they were big, they were huge for the Walt Disney Company. So big, South Park even did a skit featuring all of them. What do you guys think? Jonas Brothers, yay or nay?
I mean, they were in Camp Rock. They go way back. They're like Disney children. So they grew up in the camera, doing work for Disney. I can see that. I can see it. Yeah,
I can see it. They were like the biggest thing when they were going. And so if in fact, I don't know if this has actually been done yet, but if you're going to recognize people like Hannah Montana or maybe others that have been associated with Disney music, you got to include the Jonas Brothers in that conversation for sure.
I still don't know their music.
It's okay. I mean, it was targeted towards kids, really. I mean, it's not something I would bump in the car on the way to Publix.
And
so
you two are. Jonas is back, really.
Jonas is back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not lying.
That's funny. Yeah, well, Jonas Brothers being recognized. Yeah,
I don't hate them, and their content was always clean, and I do appreciate that from them actually. So
I think they just get it. Again, a very particular division within Disney. As KCAT points out, I do not associate Jonas Brothers with Disney. Yes, that's true, but there are a lot of people who do. So I can see it.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Okay. Obviously, very prolific when it came to, was it Moana, right? He did the music for at least the original Moana film and also to Encanto.
Encanto, that's
Very,
correct.
very big. Does stuff for Mary Poppins 2, right? He took on the Bert character, right? So, okay, not very successful, obviously, in terms of film, but talented. Disney really wanted to make Lin Miranda the next big deal, right? I think they looked at him almost like they looked at the same way they looked at, like, almost like the Sherman Brothers, or maybe that's not even a good comparison. Maybe like, let me think about it. MJ, please.
Oh yeah,
what say
sure.
you?
No, yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda, because of the awards that the songs, the soundtrack, if you guys look up Encanto's soundtrack and the Moana soundtrack, those have won awards out of this world. So I can see why, because this man is a composer, he's a writer, he's a musician himself. He also did the Hollywood Bowl. He put that thing together. That was a really good show. I don't hate him. And I know this is a little off topic of Disney, but he also did Vivo. I thought that was a cute film. My kids enjoyed it. He did a lot of stuff. I know he's known for Hamilton. I'm not crazy about Hamilton, but he is a talented individual. He just hasn't had his foot in the company long enough to be getting an award. And I can see why people would be upset about,
As a legend, yeah.
As a legend, he's still fresh meat, in my opinion.
He's a little fresh. And
but he's got that we don't talk about Bruno. I mean, that thing won awards globally, not just domestically. That thing is like, that's part of the reason why Encanto is getting their own attraction over in Tropical Americas. People that haven't watched the movie know the songs. So,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just
look, and my thing is you know, I think a lot of people might say, hey, well, did like Howard Ashman, who was the maybe what Disney considered him as, at least our modern version of it. I wouldn't, but maybe modern Disney might. Howard Ashman only associated with what? Mainly two films, right? The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. But Howard Ashman launched the Disney Renaissance. He got the animators to rethink what it meant to be to do a Disney film in the modern era, had such a legacy and so forth. Makes sense why he would be a Disney legend. Lin-Manuel Miranda, I don't know if his career associated with Disney has been quite as prolific. However, obviously Moana and Encanto, very, very popular franchises for Disney. Lin-Manuel Miranda being a part of that, I suppose it makes sense. Alan Menken, you know, he's already received a Disney legend, far more prolific. But I agree with you. Little fresh. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more work associated with Lin-Manuel Miranda before giving a Disney legend. But
yeah, because Moana's shy of. We're coming up to a decade this year. Moana's still kind of, you know, the animation that came out in 2016. We're in 2026, so I still think it's too fresh, too soon. But you know, Disney is notorious for chasing the newest, shiniest thing and not giving it enough time to.
I mean, it is almost like it is 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's approaching a decade. So I don't know how these awards, Vash, how are these awards based off of what performance, like, or time with the company, contribution to the company? What is it? I mean, you know,
let's have that discussion when we see the last one.
Sure.
How about that?
Yes.
Here you go.
Manuel Miranda. Alan Tudyk.
Okay, Alan Tudyk. He's kind of been a stalwart, like a like a hidden gem within Disney Animation for a while. Alan Tudyk has played multiple roles. You don't recognize the face. You do recognize the voice, like K2SO, I believe is his name, right there from Rogue One.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
guys. But he played King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. He is also, I believe, isn't he?
He did work in Big Hero 6. He did work in Moana. He did work in a lot of films, actually.
I think he's Hey, right? In Moana?
He's in Moana 1 and 2. I can check and see what role he actually. I thought he was the one of the villains. Let me just double check here.
Oh, was he one of the villains?
He is Hey.
Interesting.
Hey. Yeah, no. He played Hey. What does it take to play Hey? You could have done that with AI. Sorry, save my. Oh,
that's terrible.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry.
That's awful. Come on. No. Okay, so let's go ahead.
Noises all day long, right, Tom? Sorry.
Let's get back, because Jonas, if he watches the show, he's gonna kill me if I don't actually talk about his career, because he loves his voice actors, and I do love them too. Okay, Duke of Weselton for the Frozen franchise. That's pretty big right there.
Yeah.
We have Duke Weaselton, which, by the way, Weaselton. Okay, there you go. From Zootopia, K2SO, as we talked about, Hey. All of these things are within Alan Tudyk's repertoire right there. Been associated with a lot of stuff. Valentino from Wish. Probably don't want to remember that. Duffel from Strange World. But he's been associated for a while. So it makes sense why you would want to recognize him. I think it's very appropriate that you do, because he's been kind of an unsung hero for a lot of Disney animated productions for a long time.
I could see the villain from Wreck-It Ralph, the villain. Yeah, I could see that, but not Hey. That doesn't take talent to do Hey.
Well, Moana was very successful.
So. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
all right, here we go.
Now
I think we have
who did Pua.
Maybe the last one on the list. Let's see.
And Bob Iger.
That's the one. Oh, it's our buddy Bob getting a Disney legend. Oh, look at him. He's just all happy giggles right there. Yes, Bob Iger.
Could say legend of destroying everything Walt built.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good point. Just a week after retiring, still with the company actually, getting a Disney legend. Wow. I just like, does his ego have no bounds? This is crazy how Bob Iger would get a Disney legend before Michael Eisner would. This is crazy.
They're not going to give Eisner anything.
Well, and that's the thing. So, Tom, there's been some discussion about that online, right? Because a lot of people are saying, well, Michael Eisner, he was supposedly, this is rumor speculation, he was asked and he declined. And it's like, OG55 had a lot of thoughts to say on all of this stuff, and he brought up a great point. It's like, look, the main building that you see on the Disney lot right now, the one, with the seven dwarfs holding up the roof, that's the basically the C-suite building for the Walt Disney Company. That building is named the Michael D. Eisner Building. So he would like to be recognized, supposedly, for the main C-suite structure, but the very plaques on the outside of the building that hold up the pillars around the partner statue that have Disney legends and their handprints, he wouldn't want to be recognized that way. That's ridiculous. It's preposterous. I don't see why, in fact, Michael Eisner would say no to that. It would seem very appropriate to give him a Disney Legends, and rightfully so. He was the CEO that turned Disney into an empire, and yet we're going to recognize Bob first before Michael. This is outrageous.
Yeah, that's just insane. And especially with those investments that exploded in the past months, and they're going to make him a legend on bad decision making and destroying Walt's vision. I don't know what to say about this. The audience is speaking for themselves right now. They're all booing him.
Well, yeah, Kit Kat, Iger's a legend in his own mind. Yes.
I still think he took the Miss Piggy statue when they tore down the Muppets and put it in his third bathroom.
And he probably did do that. Yeah, that sounds like a Bob Iger thing to do. Look,
Oh man.
I'm actually going to take a contrarian position. I think personally that Bob Iger should probably be recognized with a Disney legend, only because of how long he was with the company, one, and how prolific like the 2012 era of Disney actually was. Like, they could do no wrong for like 4 years there. He acquired Pixar, which was so important to the success of those at that 2010 era, right, where they were producing hit after hit after hit. John Lasseter, that acquisition right there, that was a big time move that Michael Eisner himself didn't do. Michael Eisner was presented with the option of buying Pixar. Michael Eisner thought that price was outrageous, but Bob Iger actually did that. It was very expensive, right? $7 billion, but it was worth it because that talent was infused throughout the company at a time they needed it most. The acquisition of Marvel, that's as much as we talk about, what they've done with Marvel now, that is still a $30+ billion franchise. Okay. A lot of people didn't believe that the Avengers thing was going to work when Disney acquired Marvel. That was before that movie came out. And yet, that definitely put them number one in the box office for many years to come and was a big stalwart for them. Being shrewd enough to make that move with George Lucas, right, to acquire Star Wars, I think was a good move. Now, what they did after that, I can't defend. There's no question about that. Bad moves. But he was at least shrewd enough to make that deal work when maybe others wouldn't have. And he paid extra for it. George Lucas wanted more money than a lot of executives around Disney felt it was worth. And yet he paid for it. And it could have been a fantastic franchise. It just wasn't handled in the right way.
Maybe they knew Bob was going to tank it because KK was going to run it.
Yeah, well, I think we just went over, Tom, very interestingly about the fallout of Christopher Miller and Phil Lord and Chris Miller as associated with Project Hail Mary recently, right? Remember, they were directors for Solo, and Kathleen Kennedy ran them out on a rail. And when we were bringing it up, we talked about how mismanaged Star Wars was and how it had no chance. And in that discussion, we talked about how Bob Iger conferred with Kathleen Kennedy to figure out the direction for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Kathleen Kennedy being very strong in her opinion that, we have a greater future ahead than behind. So we should focus on the new trilogy and the new stuff, right? That was disastrous. And I'm sorry, Bob Iger's right there because he was the one to ultimately say, we're going in this direction rather than this direction, based on what Kathleen Kennedy wanted. No good. No question. All that stuff being said, though, the highs were pretty high. And one of the reasons why Josh D'Amaro still has a company that he can run is because of Iger's presence there and the decisions that he made. However, the reason why the Disney company is in bad straits at the moment is also because of Iger as well. If we had waited for years to give him a legend ceremony, I don't think anybody would be batting eyes. The fact that they did it right when he retired, too soon, no good. Can't support this.
No, absolutely not.
I cannot say on your stream what I want to say because it'd be disrespectful to both you and MJ. So I will kindly refrain from my current out of heck with it. What phrase? Bob, what were you thinking? Disney, what were you thinking?
Bob,
what were you thinking?
Yeah.
What tears in his
And right there,
eyes?
George, go back in time. Pull
Yeah.
out a saber, chop off his hand, say no.
Yes, exactly right. I think this is appropriate to play right here. Let me see if I can find it in time for the joke. No, I can't find it. Oh, do I have it still? I may have gotten rid of it right there. Well, we can play this.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
That's something
That's awesome.
that Bob Iger was a part of. I had my chosen one here, and I just do not have it right now. I don't know why.
Your button problem.
You were the chosen one.
Yeah, you were the chosen one until you ruined it. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay.
I think our good friend OG Dutchie makes a really good point. I had to bring this up.
Yes.
VasjSkyPark Cast, it takes a special type of person to destroy a legacy and childhood memories. That is why Bob is a legend, not for the greater good.
He is the only person that I know of who branded a building, like named a building after him while he was still the CEO. Like, that's just not something that's done. Usually, to honor previous executives, that's when you name the building after they've retired or maybe have, expired. I think in the way of like Roy Disney, for example, right? The Roy O. Disney building that was dedicated to him after he had passed away. Very appropriate, very sound. To label something like the Bob Iger building out there in New York, the ABC building now, while you're still working there, come on, that's like ego trip to the max for sure. And while you're still under contract technically with Disney, you're gonna get recognized with a Legends Award when your predecessor hadn't. I'm sorry that this is frustrating. This is absolutely frustrating. He likely deserves a Legends Award, but it should be like the NFL, right? You retire, you wait a few years, then you're actually inducted into the Hall of Fame after a vote. In this case, no vote will actually take place, obviously for multiple reasons. But there should be some time, right, before your last piece of work with the Walt Disney Company, before you're actually recognized in this way. This just seems like, the farewell tour 2.0, all over again right here. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Just showcasing his egotistical nature.
That's all.
That's what it is.
That's all it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and people, there have been some Disney defenders and Bob Iger defenders out there saying, "Oh no, he's not so ego driven, and you guys are crazy, you guys are out of your mind." It's like, okay, well, explain this. Not even the biggest Iger fanboy can present a logical argument against this idea that Bob Iger has this amazing ego when you do stuff like this. It's just I don't like it. I don't like it. And here's the thing: the Disney Legends, as we know, as we saw on the list right there, right? These choices are being made for various reasons, and has sullied the name of Disney Legends. I remember when Tony Baxter actually was inducted to be a Disney Legend, and his reaction was, okay. Now, when they said that he was getting a window on Main Street, that's when he perked up, because he knew that being recognized as a Disney Legend just doesn't have the same cachet as maybe it had in years prior, versus the very few that are ever selected to have a window on Main Street. That's just a different dynamic, and I think you recognize that appropriately. And sure enough, we're seeing the destruction, basically, of another institution.
Yeah, absolutely.
That building right there.
I'm just agreeing with
I can
with the folks in the chat. It's just so much destruction, and let's just hope that in the
I'm wondering
future
if he got
things
the legend
take care
because
of.
he came back and destroyed another one.
Yeah, we just got to hope for the future. We can't lose hope. I mean, I try not to lose hope. I really do. I want to see the company make a really big U-turn and just go back to the basics, man. Really. Let's just hope they get it right.
I would love to see it. I would love to see a change of course right here. It's just, when I see this kind of stuff, it's like, is anything going to really change? If you're honoring Bob in this way, are you going to inherit the bad culture that he left behind? Are you going to inherit some of the bad decision making that he left behind? Are we going to see bigger acquisitions or more consolidation and so forth that Bob might have wanted, but might be bad for the company in the future? I don't know, but it just seems I just wouldn't have honored him this year. I would have honored Michael Eisner for sure. This year, I think would have been most appropriate, especially after giving those amazing interviews right there that didn't badmouth the company, didn't make the company look bad, I don't think, but really showcased why he was so important. So, not good. I don't like that. But say Levy, that's where we're going for this. We're going to honor Bob Iger as a Disney legend before Michael Eisner, and on the year that he is leaving.
I have a question.
Ridiculous. Go ahead.
Can they make a bathroom in Bob's name so everybody can just go have fun?
I think that's a beautiful dedication. I think that's there you go.
Urinal. There you go.
Like a royal throne. The Eigner.
Yeah. That's going to be the real ride of a lifetime for sure. See what I did? Yeah. James All Day TV. Vash SkyPark Cast. What about actual Disney legends like Michael Eisner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Tim Burton, James Baskett, and Bobby Driscoll? Yeah, I would like, especially Jeffrey Katzenberg for sure, Tim Burton, absolutely no question, James Baskett, Bobby Driscoll. Yeah, obviously we should recognize those individuals. Unfortunately, the company today, they're not going to. There is drama associated within the upper echelons as it relates to those fine folks right there. Maybe Tim Burton was already recognized. I want to say he wasn't he? Wasn't he a Disney legend already?
Maybe.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Let me see here.
How often do those awards? This is not an annual award. This is like every 10. I need to know.
Oh yeah, no, he is not a Disney legend, I guess. Yeah, that's a real shame. Yeah, that's no good. No, don't like that. No, Tim Burton should absolutely be a Disney legend. He was a Disney animator back in the day. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but he was part of that upcoming Disney Renaissance animated team before the Renaissance was the Renaissance. So very, very interesting for sure. But yeah,
so this is every 2 years. Okay, it used to be an annual thing, and then since 2009, it's been every 2 years. Okay, so it's every 2 years. Okay,
it's every 2 years. Okay. Basically with the cadence of D23 Expo or Disney, D23 the Ultimate Fan Event, because they're held there. I was very privileged to be part of the what is it? I think I was either the 2011 or 2013 year when they inducted the Disney princesses. And it was really, really cool seeing all of the people associated with Disney Renaissance. Like I was sitting right behind them, so literally I'm looking at John Musker and Ron Clements as they kind of have some discussion amongst them while they're sitting next to each other. I was right behind them. It was really, really pretty cool.
Wow, that's really
Met
really
Alice
neat.
Davis and Tony Baxter and Richard Sherman. It was just so cool to be there for that. So that was really awesome. But Bob Iger, no, don't like this at all. And the door can't hit you on the way out fast enough. Sorry. All right, I don't want any violence, but if it could just, could just kind of hit his shoe right there, maybe scuff his shoe, I'll take that right there because that's no good.
I'm thinking to flip flop to the back of his head.
Yeah, like what is it? Yeah, NCIS, the head slap right there. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Disappointing. But there you go. That's our show for Vash SkyPark Cast. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible program right here. And thank you for sticking with us for the 2 hours. We went a little longer because, well, we were going to be streaming over Marvin anyway. We might as well make it worthwhile. And I think you guys did, and obviously our panelists right here really make this show possible. Tom, I thought I had your links. I might not, actually. But please go ahead and tell the fine people at home where they can actually find you on this big
YouTube.
beautiful web.
TJ Magnify, and I'm on your show, hanging with Eric and Raph for Brood Banter. Followed Badly is fun. I show up every once in a while with Pro now playing some video games, so it's okay. I have a good time, and I like to cause problems and poke people and make funny things. So,
and Tom, would it be all right to play your C-Suite song on this program?
Go ahead, let it rip. Paper chip, potato chip, whatever the word is. I'm reading too many different things right now.
I don't think there's any profanity in that one, right?
No, there isn't.
Okay,
Don't think so. But I'm going to go ahead and put on some B-roll right here because of the subject matter. This is interesting because you'll get the jokes in just a moment right here. But I want to go ahead and just showcase this right here. Yes. While this plays, maybe we can go out on a high note with this song that I think is awesome. So here you go.
Quarters red, ticker bleeding on the screen. Mouse ears shaking in a kingdom built on green. Josh D in the hallway, fake smile, coffee in his hand. But the numbers keep laughing like they're part of the plan. Disney stock is down, down, down. All that shiny eye is gone. Josh D stuck in a pile of doubt while Dana Walden circles on. Round and round the conference room, she can smell the wounded crown. Disney stock is down, 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 and the sharks all gather round. They said future, future silicon dreams in every slide. Now the suits dodge questions, eyes dart nowhere to hide. Josh checks his inbox for a lifeline, for a save, but Dana's got that calm grin like she's already picked his grave. Disney stock is down, down, down. All that shiny is gone. Josh D stuck in a pile of doubt while Dana Walden circles on. Round and round the conference room, she can smell the wounded crown. Disney stock is down, 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 and the sharks all gather round. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Who's next on the chopping block? Whose name in the late night jokes? Is it strategy or just rearranging all the smoke? In the glow of the slideshow, you can hear that silent vote. Every smile says it's business. Every eye says watch your throat. Disney stock is down, down, down. All that shiny A is gone. Josh D stuck in a pile of doubt while Dana Walden circles on. Round and round the conference room, she can smell the wounded crown. Disney stock is down, 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 while the sharks all gather round.
Bash, did you just turn on your flashlight?
I did. Good stuff right there.
Oh man, that was great.
Tom, I allow you to do it, but you create some bangers right there.
It was just a lot of fun coming up with it's a way to release stress.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Disney Channel song, like a Camp Rock song. It was so perfect. It's really good.
Exactly the feedback I gave him. I said, this is so Disney Channel. This is Hannah Montana kind of
You
stuff.
heard it. You were laughing. Both of you were in the car, I believe, laughing hysterical.
Yeah,
I love it. I loved it so much. Hopefully you guys got a kick out of that. That was pretty cool. All of the kudos to Tom F., who is, so important to this channel. I can't even underscore it accurately. Here you go. Magically, MJ also too, producer extraordinaire for our shows right here on Vash VasjSkyPark Cast. Please, where can the people find you out there?
Oh, thank you. I'm on X and Instagram and here with you guys. This was a great show. Thank you so much for having us, Bash. Tom, your song was awesome, and your commentary on Epic and everything. What a great contributor. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm on that Park Place Mondays and Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. It's a happy place to be. And on that Pro Show, you can find me on there too, and a few other channels. So I just love to be with good people that have the facts right. And hopefully we are making a difference. They are listening from what I hear.
I think so. There's been some reports that maybe Bob Iger himself, Mr. Disney legend Bob Iger, I should now say, maybe have some burner accounts that were following some of the people that you very well know on this panel and others. Very, very cool stuff right there. Oh, yes. We've got the current stock price provided by RJ. Thank you so much for coming on in.
Look at that.
Very much appreciate you. Great to see you out there in the chat.
Really quick. If it gets to $76, I'm going to buy one stock.
Bing.
How much did he say?
If it goes to $76, I'm buying one stock.
All right.
You might as well. You know,
investor extraordinaire.
I think of Mix and Iron Man, and man, I
feel bad for Mikey.
I bet he looks at the 70s very, very differently. Anywho's, that just about wraps it up here. No financial advice on this channel or any others right there. Thank you so much for joining us here for VasjSkyPark Cast. Really, really do appreciate it. There were some stories that we just didn't have time to get to that I think we'll go ahead and include in future coverage right there. But boy, oh boy, is the theme park world really, really interesting. We'll be covering it all here next week at 2 p.m. Eastern right there following that Park Place, and also to 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays right here. We also want to go ahead and bring out memberships that will offer member exclusive live streams, and oh yes folks, they're going to be very, very interesting, a little bit different than what you see on here, which I think is going to be really, really cool for people who actually buy in. That's going to be awesome. Again, we're still waiting for the monetization approval, but once we get it, you'll know about it. And 2K subscribers, all thanks because of you and for what you're doing and how you're supporting us out there. Skylanders, thank you so much. And remember, the sky is the limit. See y'all later. Make sure you stick around. Redirecting to Tron 3PO in just a moment.